Hello, happy Christmas, and welcome to episode 3 of our Vaesen Christmas Spectacular Christmas at Kullebo Farm. Really pleased that you could join us. I'm really excited to see what happens now. Pretty scared because I'm very familiar with Joel's work. So without further ado, let's bring back our wonderful cast. So we have our GM extraordinaire, Joel Blom.
Hi.
And our players, Chris.
Hello.
Johnny.
Hello.
And of course, I am Phil. I hope you enjoy the show. Please do like and subscribe. It really helps us to level up. And we like leveling up because it means we get to have swanky cool things. XP is always good. Oh, I'm really nervous to find out what happens next. But let's just have a quick recap of what Vaesen is. It's a Nordic folklore horror role-playing game written and created by Fria Ligan. This scenario is Joel's adaptation of a scenario by Mattias Redbo from Sweden Rolls. Please check out Sweden Rolls if you haven't done before. I'm sure you probably have. They're great, and we really appreciate what they've done for the hobby. And so we try and give back by hopefully not ruining their scenario too much. And for anyone who can't see the cameras right now, we have our GM rolling his eyes. So without further ado, let's hand back over to Joel. Happy Christmas, Joel. How are you doing?
Doing fine. And your characters perhaps will not.
Thanks, mate.
Ominous. Yeah.
This is the third session, and it's going to last 5 minutes and 27 seconds. And 2.5 minutes have gone.
I'm going to have more fun than that. So, all three of you has just gotten outside of the main building, rising the lantern to pick it up on your way out. The lightens flicker, illuminating the snow. You see the small red patches that fell from Clara's hand earlier in the snow. But what really catches your eye is the well and the lid of the well. Because the lid itself has been flung almost as if catapulted 5 meters away into the snow, standing on its side. And that was a heavy lid. You remember Lasse, the farmhand, he grunted just pushing it aside to be able to get a bucket down. And from the block and tackle in the well, something blondish is tied, and it swings slowly from side to side.
I will have my lantern, which I've pulled from indoors. I'll hold that up. I have my pistol in my other hand. And say, oh no, you see this?
I do. What is it? What could lift such a lid?
Certainly not I, and I'm not weak. What is that? Is that I take some steps closer?
Yeah. And as you step closer to the well, you also notice that there are food scraps spread around the well in the snow, and a cracked bowl in pieces in the snow. The same food scraps that Bertha was taking out to the pigs. Or so she claimed.
Is Clara
has come out behind you as well.
Clara, is this your bowl?
Yes, it's the bowl Bertha had, right? Where is Bertha?
I'll lift the. I'm presuming I'm kind of quite a lot closer. I'll lift the lantern up again. I was kneeling before, so and I've now got one really cold, wet knee. And I'll sort of lift the lantern closer toward the well.
Yeah, it looks like hair.
Like her,
Tied.
did you say? Or hair?
No, hair.
Okay.
Blonde hair tied to the block and tackle.
Mm.
And it's several knots and braids.
Mm.
It's not just done in one big knot.
Mm. Get back up from kneeling. And walk closer to the well, readying my pistol. So,
yeah, and as you come closer and start to see a little bit down the well, you see Berta. She's hanging by her hair in the well. She seems unconscious or worse, just dangling from side to side. By her hair, and the hair is tied in hundreds of little braids into the tackle and the block.
Anna, it's her. Help me.
Of course. And Arnie would pull out his hunting knife, perhaps, thinking that needing some aid, the best and quickest action would be to cut the hair.
Let's see if we can take her weight first.
Whee! Plask.
So I look to see if there's a way. Seeing he's pulled the knife, probably having an understanding that he's thinking of just cutting the hair rather than trying to unbraid it. I'm going to look to see if there's any way that I think I can take her weight, considering she's lower than me probably right now.
Yeah, you can quite easily reach her arms.
Mm.
So, and she's not a big woman, so.
Okay, so then maybe I'll say
you could hold her.
Yeah.
And I can guarantee you that Sigurd would.
Yeah, Sigurd.
I was going to say I'll walk over now. You've named her, but before I do that, I think I will turn to Clara and say, "Go, close the door. Don't let the boys see this." And I'll wander over to the well.
She turns around with the lantern held high, and she acts quickly, going back, closing the main door into the building. And yeah, this is the boy's mother hanging here.
Mm. I'll reach down and say, Sigurd, can you get the other shoulder? And I'll try and kind of grip her by sort of the upper arm and underneath kind of the top of the chest and try and lift.
Yeah. May I ask, which parts of your body are exposed to the elements at the moment that is not totally covered?
Definitely face.
Face and hands.
Hands, yeah. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. The first one to notice is Arne. You get stung by something pretty viciously in the cheek. But you also, Arne makes a quick jolt, a sound, and then you notice it too. You're basically attacked by horseflies. Huge horseflies start biting you when you're close to the well. And those shouldn't be awake now, should they?
What are these? Flies? At night? In this cold? Ephraim? Do you know of such a thing?
They're attacking all of us now.
Yeah, basically you're in a swarm of them, and hey, your food.
No, this is
a putrid smell coming from the tree stump a couple of meters away.
Let's be quick about this. Let's get the girl up and get back inside.
Agreed.
All right, on three. Kind of grab her around the arm.
Yeah.
So, try and lift her up. Pull her out.
And once
they've
got her out, just quick.
Could I have a vigilance roll from each of you as well?
Sure.
Unsuccess
Nothing.
for me.
No.
Nothing for me either.
No successes. You also hear
I got one.
something. You
Chris
got
got
one,
one.
okay.
I got one.
Then you can pinpoint it exactly. There's heavy snoring. Real heavy snoring coming from the stables.
Can I shout out? Sorry. Can I shout out, Lasse? You there? Wake up!
You hear the snoring stop for a while and then resume.
That boy's useless. Let's get the girl inside. Is there a shed, a workshop, a room the boy won't have access to for the next hour or so?
That would probably be the stables as the closest.
Mm. Okay.
Shall we drag her over?
Indeed.
And you see Clara looking out the window on what's going on.
Are we going to pass this tree stump whilst we are going to the stable?
You can if you want to.
I think I'll, glance over and say, "This something weird over here. I know it's a bit of a detour. Let's go this way."
Yeah, and when you get close to the tree stumps, the flies intensify, and it smells putrid, something rotten.
Hell.
And the snow around the stump itself has melted. So it's you can see the ground around the tree stump. There is also a broken axe still positioned in the tree stump.
This is weird. Let's get this girl to the. Let's get to the barn.
Shout again. It's Lasse, wake up. Need your help.
The snoring once again changes pitch, but continues. So you drag her to the barn. You enter the barn. It's a very crowded barn. It's not only the animals in here, it's a lot of agriculture equipment, shovels, saws. Basically, it feels like this is a combination of a barn and a stable. And this is the stables. But it feels like the things put in here should be in a barn separately. So it's crammed together. There are a couple of big pens in here. And you notice when you come in, there's a lantern that is lit, some feet sticking out from one of the pens. Human feet, probably Lasse, and the snoring intensifies. And in one of the pens, there are a couple of cows. In another pen, there are 4 pigs. And one larger pen contains a couple of sheep and a pig. And then the 2 finest pens, basically. One of them has Lasse's feet sticking out of it, and in the other one, there is Brunte standing, eating some oats and having a good Christmas evening.
Is there a relatively dry spot to put Bertha down?
Basically everywhere. The barn is kept, the stables are kept very, very nicely.
And then we haven't actually established if she's alive. Can I check to see if she's alive?
You feel for her pulse, and it's a strong pulse. And she actually starts to move a little bit, like she's coming around.
Go wake
The
her.
eyes starts fluttering a little bit.
Give her a little slap on the cheek. So, Bertha, are you okay?
And her eyes fly open, and she goes, "Oh, what happened? What happened?
Why did you scream? What happened?"
Oh, I was hoisted up in the air, and I think, and that's about it. I got really scared. What happened?
Well, what you were hanging from the well when we found you.
You see her eyes go really big and really scared.
What was it that picked you up? Do you know? Did you see it?
No. I didn't see anything. It just felt like I was being hoisted up into the air, and then I don't remember anything else, I think.
Do you remember before? You were taking some food.
Yeah, I was taking the porridge, but she wouldn't let me take the porridge, so I took the scraps. And
Where were you going to take the porridge, though?
To the pigs. To the pigs.
No, that's what she told you to do, but where were you going to take them? I'm going to try and get the truth out of her, maybe.
Yeah, and she looks scared. She looks around to see if anyone is here.
So you can't tell us. We are in confidence.
Well, we're supposed to give it to him. Every Christmas you need to give it to him. It's tradition. That's what Sigvard always said.
Would there be like a common knowledge of what she would be talking about?
No.
But I know not what you speak. Who is this him?
Well, I don't really know either. It's like Sigvard always said, we needed to do this and we need to do that to keep him happy, to appease the Grey One.
Why is he not happy?
Well, I don't know what makes him happy. Sigvard told us what made him happy. Or more accurate, what not to do to not make him angry.
And one of those is feeding him? Giving him offerings?
We were supposed, during Christmas, we put out the bowl of porridge every day. And then the day after, it's gone. And yeah, maybe the birds take it, the crows or something. But yeah, we should always do it. That Sigvard was very, very adamant about that.
And what if you don't? What happens then?
Well, we have always done it, so I really couldn't tell. But Sigvard said it would be bad luck.
But that's before Clara's father left.
Yeah, Sigvard is Clara's father.
Yes, but he's gone. Why would he have left?
Oh.
If he was so adamant in making sure these traditions were withheld.
I think he was scared.
The man who's lived here, nearly his whole life, is scared for one Christmas?
No. He's kind of been scared the whole time, I think. That's why he's so adamant about the traditions, and he's really scared if you don't keep them.
And what traditions has stopped since Clara took over the farm?
Oh, everything. She wants to do everything different. No porridge. She bought a new plow. She put the plow in the barn. Yeah. She cut down the tree. We're not supposed to even eat the apples from that tree, and she cut it down. No,
what is wrong with the apples from the tree? Do you mean like they're non-edible, or
no?
Is this to do with tradition?
Yeah, tradition. That's what Sigvard said. They're his. There's yeah.
This tree. We are here to help fix the problems. You can talk to us.
And she looks really meek and scared. Yeah, but I must do as the Miss Clara says. She's the master of the farm, right?
She is the master of the farm, but she has asked for our help. And if we support if we support the best will of the farm, then this must be in both of your interests, no?
I assume so. And you can tell that she is now retreating back into herself once again, shutting in a little bit more of herself and everything. And basically the last thing you get out of her at this point is that regarding the apple tree, I once took an apple. They looked so tasty, but before I could eat it, I think I saw him, and I nearly pissed myself. I got so scared. I never tasted apple.
Are you able to walk? Do you feel okay to move?
And she gets to her feet, no problem at all. There's not a scratch on her.
Let's get you back inside.
Yeah, I must go to Miss Clara and help her. So she starts walking to the...
Berta?
Yes?
I'm really sorry. We must tell you, I'm very sorry we had to cut your hair. It was the only way to free you.
She feels some of her hair and it's kind of missing everything.
It's still on the well if you need it back.
And she looks a bit doubtful, but yeah.
I'm sorry. It was the only way to release you. You'll see. It was tied into the block and tackle. It would have been too much danger.
Digs in her pocket, picks out a small shawl and ties it around her head and starts running back to the main building.
That's a really noisy pig.
Should we wake him? Make him stay inside for the night?
I think if we don't wake him, he'll probably stay inside anyway. You mean in the main building?
Would the barn be safe, given what's just happened outside?
This is stables.
Sorry, the stables.
I'm the one who mixed up the naming of things.
No, I think I said barn. Anyway. Why would it be any less safe, I guess?
Well, we walked straight in here. It's not exactly safe from... Well, is anything safe? Let's leave him.
He seems comfortable.
From everything that everyone's told us, it seems that whatever is happening here seems to be reactive. Bertha picked an apple that she shouldn't have, and she sees something. She takes out scraps instead of porridge, and she is attacked. Something is clearly not happy, but it seems to be unhappy at things happening. And I think this old fool, unless he wakes whatever it is with his snoring, should be safe.
I wonder what happened to the wood from the tree.
It would be stored for firewood, no? Would it be drying?
Really burned. Indeed.
It's either drying or already burnt.
Should we go back indoors?
Yes, it is rather cold.
Have the flies all dispersed?
Yeah. They were near the tree and therefore near the well.
We'll cross the courtyard once again and go back to the farmhouse. But I see there are some spots of red beginning to wash out in the snow. And it reminds me that I have some more questions that perhaps I should have asked when we first arrived.
There's no time like the present.
So I think I will try the door that Clara originally greeted us from and see if this is unlocked.
It is basically locking doors to keep people out were not a big thing, especially in the farms in the countryside.
Mm-hmm.
It would be quite specific to have a lock on something.
Okay.
Yeah. So what you can see when you open that door, because it is unlocked, is, let's see, I have a small map out here. You're stepping basically directly into the kitchen.
Yeah.
So normal kitchen things and the big stove, and it smells wonderful in here. Something is roasting in the stove. And to the right, you have a door that is slightly ajar. And there's also a door that probably goes to the living room on the left.
Mm-hmm.
And a second door to the right that you could probably guess would be to another sleeping chamber of some sort.
Okay. Going to have a look, maybe see if there's a sink, see what is cooking also, but maybe see if there's like a knife or something. If there's any indication of butchery.
Yeah, looking into the small room where the door is ajar, that is basically the pantry. And there is a huge pig.
Okay.
That's freshly butchered.
Okay.
And it's probably porks that is roasting for Christmas dinner.
Okay. Is the floor clean? Does it look like she's rushed out and hasn't tidied behind herself or anything like this?
It's been tidied. But then again, she went to the kitchen when you were in the living room for quite some time, and the kitchen is connected to this one.
Yeah.
So she probably had time for it.
Yeah. So there's no mess.
No mess at all.
Okay.
This is a well-handled, I'm going to use the word pantry. It's not really a pantry. It's also where they brew the beer, the small batches, and where they keep foodstuffs. Yeah. So it's a mix between a pantry and a work area. And so this pig is the biggest pig you've ever seen.
I don't know. You're a hunter, yes? How do you rate her skills? She butchered this well?
I think she's had a bit of help, and she's done a fair job.
Wonder if this is the blood that we saw. Maybe we interrupted her.
So.
Okay.
I have a question though, Annie. This pig, it's rather large. Is that normal?
Yeah, it is large, but given the season, and it can also be dried for storage, salted.
Not yet, but it's gonna be, to be honest. Considering the season, this is the day where we eat the meat fresh. So this is newly slaughtered, and then you're gonna eat salted pork for the rest of the spring. But this pig is basically like Brunti is the biggest horse you ever seen. This is the biggest pig you ever seen. And domesticated pigs at this time were still kind of a mix between a wild boar and pig. So it's got a lot of fur, it got tusks and everything. And the tusks protruding from the bottom jaw has been carved, kind of like scrimshaw. So it's a pretty pig, if you prefer pigs, that is. But yeah, this pig has gotten some TLC. And it's a big and fat pig. And you see, because it's still not cut up completely into all pieces, most of basically what's been taken from it is probably what you can eat tonight. And the meat that you can see is, this is going to taste good because there's fat. In Swedish we would say insprängt. It's marbled. That's It's very marbled. So this is going to be probably, unless you really destroy it in the cooking, it's going to be juicy, really juicy.
So this looks like an animal that has been reared for the occasion. Almost.
Maybe.
Like it's an important animal.
Important animal, yes, indeed. It looks important. And you hear some argumenting going on from the living room. Heated voices. Clara and Bertha.
I think that's our cue.
Yeah, you don't really hear what Bertha are saying because she's so meek, but Clara is steadfast, and you hear things like, "No, I will not have my guest sleeping on the floor."
I'll knock on the door whilst opening it, and it's my dear ladies. Apologies for intruding. It's unfortunate what's happening out there. Seems the snow is melting in the strangest of places. Will your hand be okay to sleep in the stables? Does he have a room elsewhere?
Oh yeah, he's got their own house. The servants got their own house to sleep in. That's where Lasse, Bertha, and Egon sleeps. So they have their own building outside.
Should we wake him? It's going to get colder.
Yeah, probably. And it's also soon time to eat Christmas dinner. The roast should be done pretty soon. And Bertha, make the beds, not the floor. Okay?
I'm happy on the floor. I do all my best sleeping on the floor. Please don't go into extra trouble on my account.
Clara looks a bit skeptical. Like, there are beds in the room. That's where I normally sleep, and I prefer to sleep in the beds. So it's not an extra problem. It's just stupid that you should sleep on the floor on Christmas Eve.
For me, after many years of hard surfaces to sleep on, sleeping in a bed will just give me a sore back. But I'm sure Sugluk and Arne will appreciate the comfort.
I would appreciate a bed, actually, yes. It would be rather nice on Christmas.
And Bertha looks
after
scared.
years of sleeping on the cold wilderness, I very much appreciate a bed. Thank you.
Yeah. And Bertha, she started to shine up a bit and look happy when Ephraim was telling him that he was going to sleep on the floor. And when Sigling and Arne insists on bed, that goes kind of away. And she walks into the chamber and starts picking up the bed sheets from the floor and making two beds. And Clara says to you that, of course, you as my honored guest will sleep in the main bedroom, the chamber. That's where I normally sleep. I will, if it's possible, I will sleep with Linnea tonight. Otherwise, I could sleep in the kitchen. That's not an issue for me. Since you fine gentlemen agreed to come and help me with these issues, That's the least I can do.
I have a quick question about the tree out there in the courtyard.
Yes.
Do you eat apples from it regularly or harvest anything before you chopped it down?
No, that bloody tree was half rotten already. It yielded like 10 to 15 apples a year, and it's covered the entire courtyard in shade.
And
I want it cut down.
Did the apples that it did produce, did they ever go missing at all? Or did they just stay on the tree until they...
I've just been here since August. Before that, I haven't been here since I left for school previous to that. And that was a long time ago. So no, I don't remember any apples, never eaten them. Because, my father, he was, how should I put it? A nervous man. He had a lot of IDs that you needed to abide by. Laws, rules that didn't make any sense. And he was scared of his own rules and his own. He was a broken man. Okay, now I said it. That's why he left. He couldn't take it anymore. My father was a weak man.
Were there any other rules?
Oh, it's an insane amount of rules. There's rules. You can't enter the stable if there's a broomstick standing outside of it. You couldn't pick apples from the tree. How could you run a farm when you can never improve anything or do anything different than you've already done? Rules. And they were stupid. Like, if the snow drifts on the left side of the well, you can't take water from it. Then you have to walk down to the brook, crack the ice, and carry buckets home. We have a well. It has water. Which side the snow drifts against the well can't matter.
I have to ask,
work?
Well, all these rules and traditions, one would say, why? Why did he feel he had to do them?
I don't know. I really don't know. He was scared if he didn't do it. Did I say that my father was kind of a broken man? His nerves couldn't cut it in the end. That's why he up and left the farm.
And that's what brings you here.
Yeah. He didn't want it anymore. My brother has left for another farm before my father left, so I guess it's my turn to take over the farm. And with the skill set I have acquired at school and at the mines, there's so much you can do to improve. Like, I bought sheep. Did you see the sheep in the stables?
We heard them, certainly.
Yeah. We are too few manpower on this farm to be able to handle sheep as well as our regular chores, because you basically need someone to take to act as a herder the entire time to protect them during the summer grazing when foxes and wolves and things might take them. Did you see the pig in the pen with him?
Again, I did not look upon the animals, but I certainly heard one sleeping his head off and snoring to wake the dead.
That sounds like Lasse.
Yes.
Well, if you put a pig when it's young with the sheep, it becomes part of the sheep pack, so to say, which means that when the summer comes and we're going to let them out to graze, they can handle themselves, because the wolves and the foxes will not come near the pig because he will fight them to protect the sheep. They use this technique in the southern parts of Sweden and in Germany. It's a herding pig. And my father said, we can't keep sheep. We can kill sheep if you do use modern technology, techniques, IDs. This will be able for us to keep sheep during the summer. And the only time we need to invest in the sheep ourselves, with time and effort, is in the winter time, when everything basically goes into hibernation at the farm anyway. Things like that.
I have a question, though. Your father had many a rule to follow. Did he learn these by trial and error, or were these passed down in some way to him when he took over the farm?
I don't know. I left basically as soon as I could. I couldn't stand all these rules and the way he was afraid of everything. In the end, he was afraid of his own shade. You hear something walking on the roof above you. Clara looks up. Something is moving.
You have, what are the ceilings like? Are they pitched? Can you see the ceilings from where we are, or is there like a flat?
You have an inner ceiling as well.
You have any rooms, any storage above here?
No. There's nothing up there as far as I know. And she tries to follow the sound of someone walking up there. So she's moving toward the kitchen.
Okay, follow her.
And there's a huge bang, a metallic bang, right outside of the kitchen. Something's falling down something metal falling down outside in a loud crash.
For him, does that sound like the plough that was misplaced on the roof?
Might have.
Could be. Certainly sounds large enough.
And
the
weather was the wind was not that strong when we were outside.
No.
And what would have the strength to lift it and the grace to run along a roof, let alone climb onto the roof in the first place?
Clara tries to open the door, and it opens about a half a meter before it slams into something and won't budge anymore.
Was that the outside door?
Yeah.
The kitchen, yeah. Can I run over to the... Sorry, come.
She starts peering out through the door the way she can reach it, basically. It's like, that's my plow!
Can I guide other people to the kind of the living room door that we went in the original?
Yes.
And see if that opens?
Sure does.
No, and I presume we see a plow crash landed in front of the kitchen door.
Yes. So it's basically fell down from the roof, or more likely was shoved in some way.
Does it look like it is broken?
No, this is a solid piece of metal. You can see some specks of rust, but that's about it.
Can I run into the middle of the courtyard enough to see on top of the roof and then turn and try to look on the roof?
And as you do that, you see a figure of a man disappearing on the other side of the roof. And it's grey, horns, fur sticking up from the neck and out through the arms. And it disappears on the other side of the house, of the roof.
Sigurd, you see anything?
Please tell me somebody else saw that. I cannot be the only one. Then follow me.
Indoors.
Follow me quickly. It jumped over the roof. I'm going to try and run around the side of the farmhouse.
Yeah. And as you run around, bringing your lantern from side to side, you come around the backside and you see footprints. Small footprints. Not as small as Egon would have made, but not that much bigger either. walking in a straight line away from the house, from the backside of the house, straight, as far as your lantern can see.
Gentlemen, tell me you can see these footprints at least. I'm not going crazy.
I see the footprints too.
Indeed.
Who made them? What did you see, Siglug?
You say they're small?
Yeah, like size.
Kind of like a child.
So if I turn and say, where's the boy?
He's inside, and these are smaller, larger than the boys would be. Larger. Because he's quite a small boy, 5-6 years. And this is bigger, but it's not a man's or a grown woman's shoes.
So it was shoes as well.
Hard to tell in the snow.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think we should find out? I wasn't finished done explaining the creature. It was human-esque with 2 protruding horns and a body of fur. A ghastly thing to be seen in the dark. But it was grey.
We're cold.
I could not tell. But it had the grace to jump down off the building and disappear.
Wonder if this is him.
Siglag, could I have a vigilance?
Sure. Vigilance is 5. No successes.
You hear from the front side, you hear Clara and Bertha working together to move the plow so they can open the door.
Why are they not just using the living room door? I do not understand. It's a lot of work to move that plow. I think we should go help. You muted, Phil.
Hey! I think they should leave it until tomorrow. What difference is a few hours going to make?
Unless they are due a snowstorm, we may get snowed in. Would it be harder then?
Well, then you definitely can't use the plough.
I don't think they're going to be using it anyway. It's been thrown off the roof.
Okay, let's help them. We can at least try.
We'll come back to these footprints later.
Is it snowing heavily right now?
No. It's,
okay, so those footprints would stay for quite some time probably then.
Yeah. Basically, there's a snowflake coming every 5-6 minutes. There is some snow in there, but it's not.
So it's just like that dry, cold at the moment. Okay. These footprints are going nowhere. Come on.
Lads, that plough, we don't
they're going somewhere, but... Oh, someone has walked backwards towards the house.
So when you come around the house to where Clara and Bertha's, they are trying to drag the plow towards the stables. And Clara is kind of whining a little bit about the stains of rust on it. We really have to scrape this off so this doesn't get destroyed completely. But I'm glad it's down anyway, and thank you, Bertha, for helping with this at least.
I think as we get over there, I'll kind of say to Clara, you're not at least concerned how it came down off the roof.
Of course I am, but right now I'm just glad it came off.
Well, let's get it in the barn, out of the way.
Yeah,
and let's wake up that fool of a drunken in there as well.
She's pulling it towards the stables.
Kind of give it a push or a pull, whatever we can do to help.
And you manage to do that without a problem. You get it into the stables. Well, this one has to stay here until we have renovated the barn. But that will have to be later.
Is Lasse still there? Yep. Well, I guess we should wake him up. No time like the present, eh? Give him a kick.
Yeah, you kick the feet, he grunts a bit and comes around and wakes up without a problem. He's still probably intoxicated, but it's not dead drunk. It's like, is it time? Is it time for the Christmas dinner?
It's close. You may need your help first, though.
Oh?
Yes, you look after the animals, don't you?
Of course I do.
Yes. And have you seen one run loose in the wild on 2 feet and with horns?
He gives you a weird look like you just asked something really, really weird.
Well, I think one of your animals is loose.
He starts looking around on his whereabouts. And he grows a little bit pale. And like, oh no, not Grumpy. Damn, she didn't take him, did she? Oh, this is bad. No animals on 2 feet.
And how many animals do you carve into the horns?
I don't. Someone did.
Is it maybe for display on the dinner table? I wasn't quite sure. I thought it was quite ornate.
Yeah.
Rather strange.
Well, it seems he's looking for. You can notice that he's searching for the words to use, and he looks in the pen he was sleeping in, the pen that is empty, and in immaculate condition. It's a really well kept pen, as is the one next to it with Brunte. And once again, he looks defeated. And yeah. So I guess she slaughtered old Grumpy, did she?
I would say that's the case.
I think we're talking about the same creature.
Why is this a problem?
You shouldn't touch old Grumpy. It's not the way. He's been on the farm longer than I have. He's a really old, magnificent pig. Was, I suppose.
Yes, we noticed that some of your animals are the finest we've ever seen. Your horse and this pig, they're extremely well kept. Is that down to yourself?
Well, I do my best to keep up with animals and keep them in shape. I do all I can.
And how do you get them to grow to such a size?
Well, Grumpy, he ate a lot. So I guess that's why he ate like all the other pigs combined. A magnificent animal that was. And Clara comes. Did you bring Clara to the stables? Yeah, she was pulling the plow. Yeah, he ate like 4 of the other pigs. And what did he do for the farm? He created piglets. That's about the extent of his abilities to contribute to the farm. It was time for him to contribute in a better way. Creating piglets. You see the pig over there? The one I'm going to use as a herding pig? That is Grumpy's probably grandson's grandson or something. He can make piglets, and he eats a quarter of what Grumpy did. Also, Grumpy will bring much more meat.
Are you saying this is a sheer economic decision?
Of course it is. You have to be smart when you're running a farm. Make the tactical decisions, like with the beer, the brewery, like with Grumpy, like getting the sheep. Dad always said, we can't have sheep, we're too few. But we can if we do it my way.
How
Clara,
go on.
Sorry, Clara, do you know when Rumpy came to the farm? You were here in your youth. Do you remember him arriving? Or was he always here?
No. I don't think he was here when I was a wee girl, to be honest. But there was always one pig that Dad treated like it was the God Almighty pig. The sacred pig.
And did
That's
he
one
have
of his
rules
notions.
about the pig, the sacred pig?
Sorry, come again?
Did he have any rules, any of his strange, crazy rules about...
Yeah,
sacred
one of them was that pig should be left alone, given everything it needed, everything it wanted, and you shouldn't slaughter it. And that's idiotic. Grumpy was the biggest pig around. He ate the most, contributed the least. Of course, that's the best to slaughter. It's going to give you 3 times as much meat as another of the pigs. And we sure need it this spring. And you will see
how
the meat will
successful
be
was
excellent.
Sorry. How successful was the farm year on year before your father left?
To be honest, it did good, but not great. It's a self-sustaining farm. It's never been any issues at the farm, never been any famine, or it's been doing good. But that's the old way of running a farm, when basically the farm can sustain the owning family and the farm hands, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
I can make this farm not only sustain us, but build a profit, improve, perhaps grow the farm, add buildings. The barn needs to be rebuilt. There are no funds for that. So yeah, as a self-sustaining farm, it did excellent. But that is not good enough anymore, is it? That's why, for instance, the beer, selling the ale like we did now, if we could do that on a regular basis, that will give us money that we can buy better equipment, better things, and continue to improve on the farm.
Did your father have any rules about the making of alcohol?
No, not really that I recall.
Okay. So this is the one area where you think perhaps you've not broken one of his rules.
Well, what does his rules matter? They were idiotic in the first place. Like today, Bertha wanted to make you all sleep on the floor because that's what you do at Christmas Eve. Why?
It's what I do every chance I get.
Well, then you're the odd one out, I believe. I prefer a bed every night instead of the floor.
So one of your father's rules was to always sleep on the floor on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, and not only him, everybody at the farm had to sleep on the floor. So, I'm not going to go into Linnea and move her old body to the floor and say, you need to sleep on the floor now, dear auntie. Because of why? No, I will not have such idiotic behavior and ways.
It's true, it sounds like there was a lot of rules, but I think seeing them as rules is something of a mistake. In the towns and cities, these may not matter. Out here, it appears many people believe them, and you are the odd one out right now. We are the odd one out. We don't know why these rules exist, but I think some point someone did know.
Well, and they only exist here, like my brother's farm. They don't have him. He tries to follow him there, and it doesn't matter. That farm underperforms. I know he's been coming to this farm for handouts every winter to keep his farm even being self-sustaining. And he is doing it the old way. It doesn't work good enough. Well, dinner ought to be ready now. We need to go check up on the roast pork.
Let's continue our discussions inside.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Let's go on.
Sounds good. And Lasse is already moving towards the main building with a little bit of a defeated face.
Can I turn around when we're walking back and check the barn to see if there's a broom leaning up against the door?
It is not.
Okay. Because we did not break one of the rules.
Well, we should maybe have some food. Although I must confess that pork is sounding quite a lot less tempting now. And then maybe track these footsteps.
Certainly. We can't track footsteps on an empty stomach.
I think probably I'd ask Brunte at this point, ask what, sort of try and sort of pull her to the side a bit, sort of out of Clara's earshot, and just ask, when you were feeding him, did you ever feed him any meats, any porks from the farm, or was it always a porridge on Christmas?
You mean Bertha? And
Bertha, sorry.
Yeah. On Christmas, it's always the porridge with the milk and the butter and some honey. That's the way it should be. That's the way it's always been. I just put a bowl on the well in the morning after it's empty. I can't tell for sure that it's the grey one, but I think it is.
Can you describe the grey one to me? What have you seen?
She looks a little bit scared right now. I really shouldn't tell. I'm not sure. I think I might have seen him once when I took that apple. He kind of, if it was him, he's not big. He was like a little bit larger than Egon, a meter, something like that. A small man, but he looked really old, really, really old. And he had small horns sticking out from under his hat. And he looked at me with those vicious eyes, and he looked really angry, like almost like he wanted to kill me on the spot. And I dropped the apple, and I wet myself, and I ran.
Thank you for sharing this with me.
Please don't tell Miss Clara I said anything.
Oh. And anything you share with us, we will keep to ourselves. Rest assured of that. Can I ask your opinion? Do you think if we gave him his porridge tonight, that he would be perhaps in a better mood?
I don't know, maybe.
Have you ever gone a Christmas without giving him his porridge?
No. This is the first. I've set the porridge out every year since I came to this farm. And that was 6-7 years ago, maybe 8. A couple of years after Lasse. When Sigurd was still in charge.
I think Arnie's got everything he kind of wanted to know from that, and so he'll just give her a knowing nod and carry on following Clara back to the farmhouse.
Yeah, and you comes inside and all get busy with setting the Christmas table, serving pickled herring to Phil's delight. And the pork comes out being served, and it is magnificent. You still haven't started eating it, but as they are putting it out, you see that this pork is going to be tender. It's going to be juicy. It's going to be delicious. There are green cabbages, basically all traditional Christmas foods that are served at the time is being brought out. And as soon as you sat down to start eating, something enters the door through the kitchen. Something comes in to the living room where you're sitting at the table saying, "I am here." And Sigurd, you're quite certain this is the same thing you saw on the roof. It's almost 2 meters high. It's dressed in grey, something protruding from the head, sticking out from the sleeves of the coat. And Egon gives a howl like a banshee, charging this thing. But the howl is gleeful. He's happy. And he starts beating it with his stick that he was holding. "I'll fight you! I'll kill you!" Oh! And hammers it. And they start tumbling to the ground. And Egon reaches for the hat of the creature and rips it off. And goes, "I win! You die!" And with the hat comes the mask off as well. And underneath is a man in his 40s, maybe. Red, brown hair. And Egon is really happy. "I won!" And Clara goes, "Oh, Jens, for fuck's sake." I don't know how to swear in old English from 1850s, but yeah, that's the statement, basically. And he rises again. And Egon goes, "Where's my gift? Where's my gift?" And he extends a small package to Egon. "I didn't know you were coming, Jens, and I sure as hell didn't expect this kind of entrance," says Clara.
I think I'll stand, presuming I'd seated, and just basically like as a kind of gesture of greeting, and say, "Excuse me, sorry. Pleased to meet you. My name is Ephraim. I didn't realize we had more guests coming."
"Well, I usually come here every Christmas to see the little one and see to the farm, and yeah. My name is Jens Kulle. Who are you?" And in quite a rude way. He points to you three, inquiring who you are, why you're here.
We are friends of Clara. My name is Ephraim Kemper. These are my colleagues Sigurd and Arne. And we have travelled up via Stockholm just to bring good tidings on at this time of year at Miss Clara's invitation.
Invitation, huh? So, yeah, they set out for another person at the table. And then you sit down to eat again. Does anyone taste of anything from the food?
And Ephraim's not a huge fan of herring, but he will partake of that and try and fill himself up on food other than pork and hope that no one will notice.
Yeah, I think I'd do the same at this point.
Arne, will you resist this fabulous pieces of meat?
It's not easy.
I think it probably smells and looks too good to resist. I think. I think he's probably a bit worried about it, thinking this is meat from the sacred pig that shouldn't have been slaughtered. But gosh darn, doesn't it smell so good?
It does, and you eat it, and it tastes even better than it smells. And as the Christmas dinner continues on, basically Sigurd and Ephraim are the only ones who are not eating of the meat. All others actually are. And the table is placed closest to the window of the front of the farm. There is a window at the back of the farm in this room as well. And all of a sudden, perhaps midway into the dinner, something flies through that back window all the way to the table, lands smack down, striking down plates and holders for different food stuff. And it's a huge boar's head, the same boar's head you saw in the pantry. And Jens looks at it because it lands smack dead in front of him with the tusk in his direction. And he goes, "Oh, not all grumpy like this." And the window is smashed. Bertha just covers. Egon looks terrified. Lasse hasn't seemed to grasp what's happening yet. What do you do?
We turn towards can I turn towards the window and see if I can see the shadow of this character that I saw earlier? Is it obvious that he's there? Is he looking back through the window or anything like that?
The character you saw
on top of the window, on top of the roof. Yeah,
it was probably Jens.
Got you.
In that dress. Is anyone else by the window in the backside where the pig's head came flying in?
Probably me.
Where are you, Arne?
I'd have felt I'd been sitting again next to Ephraim.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if I'd have a good view out the window, but for sure, as soon as that window came crashing in, I'd be looking at the window, looking what it came through.
Yeah, and what you can see outside is the same small footprints leading away from the house. Nothing coming to it. Leading away through the house straight out, in a straight beeline from the back of the house and away. And then there's a loud crash as something smashes into the door from the kitchen to the living room. The door shakes. And it smashes again. And now we're going to do like this.
Yeah.
I want to hear your quick actions in this. What you do, not a long description of a chain of actions, but the first action you do. And we're going to start with Siglag. 10, 9, 8.
I'm going to stand up out with my
6,
chair. I'm going to grab
5,
my cutlery
4,
that's in front of me.
3,
the rest of my stuff's in my
2,
bag. So.
1. Yeah. Ephraim. 5.
I'm going to stand, reach my
3,
pistol, and
2,
point.
1. Arne. 3, 2, 1.
No, muted.
You can unmute and let's do it again.
In shocked silence, he stands there.
Okay, Arne. 3, 2.
I'm going to get up,
1.
barricade the door with myself, my body, just push up against it, sort of something's trying to get in.
Does that mean I'm pointing my pistol at you?
Yeah.
Pass me, I hope.
What's happening? This is a panicky moment.
Yeah, I know.
It's short actions. And it crashes again into the door. You feel the door striking your body, Arne. And it repeats 2 times. And the second time, you fly away from the door. Face first, in the middle of the room. And into the room charges a body of a huge boar, the pig that you saw slaughtered earlier, without a head. There's no blood dripping. The head is still on the table. Its eyes looking at you. And this thing charges. And here is where we will end for now.
Oh my goodness me. Thank you so much. That was great fun.
Yeah.
I hope you've all
Really
enjoyed it
that.
as much as we have. And if you have, please hit the like and the subscribe. Come talk to us on Discord, all that sort of stuff. We'd love to hear from you. Please let us know in the comments what you think's coming next. What do you think's happening? I'm a bit lost for words, I think. Right.
Not as lost as Arne was with him when he was muted.
This is true. There was a point earlier on where Sigurd said, please tell me everyone else sees his footsteps. And the player, me, was really wanting to say, no, what footsteps? Thank you, everyone. Thank you to Joel, to Chris, and to Johnny. Again, I'm Phil. And please, tune in for the next one. We'll see you very soon. Thanks very much, everyone. Take care. Happy Christmas. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.